Hey, what's up, you guys? WWE Fan 0599 here again, and welcome back to WWE Fans TV Recap Show. And today's recap show will be for Minority Report. So, this episode is entitled Fredi. Now, before we get into this episode, of course, spoiler warning. There will be spoilers in this review. So, if you have not seen this week's episode, please do not watch this review. But if you have seen the episode, or if you just don't care about spoilers, continue on watching. So, just a real quick spoiler warning as usual. So, yeah. So, what this episode is basically about, it's about, Dash and Vega. They find out that this woman is about to be murdered. She's going to be murdered, of course. And they basically have to put a stop to it. So what Dash decides to do is he's going to go undercover. And he's going to be the one to try and investigate this woman and see what's going on. But until Dash starts having feelings for this woman. So yeah. So what did I think of this episode? I thought this was a great episode. Honestly, I really enjoyed this episode. This was honestly another great episode, It was just like last week's episode, a nice character-driven episode. It was just a really nice character-driven episode. There's not really that much action in this episode. It's just a nice character-driven episode just like last week. I really like that, so yeah. So let's get into my positives, and my positives are the acting with the episode. The acting is really good with the episode. I thought the acting was really good with this episode, The woman that plays Vega, she was really good. I really thought she did a good job. I really enjoyed her. She did a really nice job in this episode. She's been really good in mostly all these episodes so far. I really enjoyed her in this episode. Thought she did a really nice job. The guy who plays Dash, he's really improving. I'll say that. Like in the first episode, I liked him, but he was annoying at parts. But then just in the next few episodes, he was getting better and better and better. I'm glad he's getting better because I really enjoyed him in this episode. Especially there's some nice emotional I don't want to say nice emotional moments, but there was a moment between him and Fredi that was very maybe not really emotional. What's the perfect word for it? I don't know. But it was just something. It was something between them, and I really liked that. That was a nice character moment for him. So, yeah. Made him feel human in a way. So, yeah. The girl who played Fredi, thought she was actually pretty good. I actually thought she did a good job in this episode. I thought she actually did a nice job. She actually was really good. So, yeah. So, the acting overall in the episode was really good. The action when the action is needed, it was really good as well. I thought the action was pretty good when it was needed. Like I said, not too much. Like last week's episode, there wasn't that much action. Nice character-driven episode. But when there was action, it was good. So yeah. The writing with the episode, the writing was actually pretty good with the episode. Not too bad writing in this episode. It was pretty good. So yeah. The directing was really good with the episode. I thought the directing was really good with the episode. And the visuals, actually, there weren't really too many bad visuals. There actually wasn't any bad visuals this week. The visuals were really good with this episode, Probably the best they've looked in all of the episodes so far. So, yeah. The visuals were great. So, yeah. Let's talk about some of the moments, of course, like we do in all these reviews. Let's talk about the moments that happened in this episode. Not too much, really. Not too big of moments that really happened in this episode, but there are a few to talk about. One, when, Agatha, she's doing her own plan where she's basically manipulating this guy named William to do her dirty work for her, to find out about the whole thing, because, she's been seeing visions that Vega is going to betray Dash and put them back in the milk bath and things like that, so yeah. So she brings in William to try and find out where, the government is doing this and all that, so, and William goes to Arthur, to basically, to help, so yeah. I was really intrigued by that, actually, and especially when, really towards the end, when, William gives that information to Vega, the military base comes. She's like, the military base is after you now. You shouldn't be really sloppy. So yeah. And William's killed. Yeah, he was killed. Not Vega, I'm sorry. Agatha told her to go through the back door, not the front door, basically tricking him. And, he was shot down to death. So yeah, Vega, why do I keep on saying Vega? Agatha, now has what they're trying to plan to do. So yeah. When Dash is with Fredi, he starts learning things about her, and he starts finding out that she's getting revenge. She's not having proof. She's trying to get revenge. And, she's going to be the killer. I will admit, the preview for last week's episode kind of spoiled that in a way. If you saw last week's episode and the preview for this week's episode, they kind of really spoil it, sort of. Like, that she's the killer, so I knew she was going to be the killer the entire time because they spoiled it in the preview. So, they need to not spoil stuff in the preview, so yeah. But, we find out that she is the killer, and, basically Dash is like, you don't need to do this, you're better than this, and, Dash lets her go. Dash is like, just go. And Vega, tells Dash, you're way too attached to this. And, it showed that, like I said, Dash has emotion. He can be human. Just because he's a precog doesn't mean he can't be human. And I like seeing that. That was a nice moment for him. So, yeah. Those were some of the moments that happened in this episode. Like I said, not too much, but yeah. My only negative with the episode, that it did feel boring at parts. There were some parts that were boring. There were some parts where I did feel the runtime of this episode. Just some where I'm like, let's just pick it up a bit. But that's it, so yeah. Besides that, great episode. This is actually probably my favorite episode this season so far. So yeah. So it's time for my official grade on this episode. My official grade on this episode is an A. Great episode. I loved it, so yeah. So what you guys think of this week's episode? Leave in the comment section below. I'm WWE Fan 0599, and we'll see you all later. Peace.